And it's recording. Go ahead. Good luck.
Let's do it. I'm Brendan. I'm home from a karaoke place out here in San Francisco, and I found myself in the Bay Area after like 3 years long expedition trying to get sober, which has had lots of road bumps. I am sober. I've got like, I don't know, like 80 days at this point. I mean, I've been in the Bay Area since last March of 2023. I was living in Utah prior to this, where I had been in a treatment center in Provo, eventually moved to Salt Lake, got a job, got an apartment, got a girlfriend, and then proceeded to lose my job and lose my girlfriend. I kept the apartment because I relapsed and I started using opiates again, man. And that was terrible. It was pretty awful. I grew up like a pretty sheltered life in Los Angeles. Like my parents got divorced when I was like 12, but we had like a cool house. Like I was at decent schools. My parents supported me. Like nothing was wrong, but like there was something wrong internally. Just a sense of like not belonging, never feeling secure, never feeling fully accepted. Like I always had this longing. And like in high school, I found weed, man. Like I smoked seriously for the first time with two of my best friends in my backyard when I was a sophomore in high school. And that was like one of the happiest moments. It was just me and two of my friends like laughing our asses off, being together, just sharing this moment. And it was very innocent, and I did not realize that, I don't know, let's see, I was 15, 16 then, that like 8 years later, I would be smoking heroin with homeless people in my apartment in Salt Lake, and like driving people to and from the block to make 20 bucks to buy my next fix, and like just all of my morals out the window, and like all my relationships crumbled, and just no hope whatsoever. And now I'm here in Marin, and like, I mean, I'm working on getting into law school. I'm dating this cool girl here. That's been super exciting and super fun. I've made a lot of wonderful friends being in AA. I have been able to rebuild all of my friendships from like every point in my life, which is amazing. Like everyone is happy to talk to me or happy to see me. And yeah, I got a great relationship with my family. Like things are going well. Things aren't completely set in stone yet. I got a lot of work to do and a lot of time ahead of me, but I'm feeling great. I'm feeling hopeful about my future.
Also, you have a really big brain that barely fits your skull. And
it's galaxy brain.
You're studying for the LSAT. And
yeah.
You have your, what is it called? It's scheduled. Your test is scheduled.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the LSAT on April 11th.
Is he gonna be a lawyer?
Gonna be a lawyer, hopefully.
Contract lawyer.
I'm pretty broke right now. I work part-time at a market in Woodacre, which is like cool. It's a little family place. I enjoy making sandwiches and like interacting with customers, but I'm ready to get that money. I got my degree from Michigan back in 2020, graduated in the pandemic in history.
In history? He's a smart historical boy.
Oh boy, I was pre-pharmacy originally, and then I failed organic chemistry first semester, but we don't talk about that. History's cool. So yeah. Yeah.
History's cool.
That's awesome. Is that okay if I ask you questions?
Absolutely, man. Lay it on me.
If you did not feel comfortable, we have to say pass, okay?
All right. Also, by the way, subscribe to Chat Passenger.
Subscribe.
It's a cool channel. I like this guy.
He's fucking making moves.
He's making money moves.
You're missing out if you sleep on this.
All right. What questions you got for me, man?
What is the darkest time that you had, like the darkest memory from your addiction time?
Dude, this is a weird one, but when I was living in Utah in like the heat of my addiction, I remember one day where like I was completely out of drugs and completely out of food, but most importantly, I was out of food for my cats. And so I like grabbed some random shit from my apartment and like walked around trying to sell it for like $5 so that I could buy like a single can of cat food to feed my cats. Like, fuck me, I'm not gonna eat, but like I gotta take care of my little kitties.
That says so much about you.
And like, yeah, like it took me a minute and I was stressed, and like even then I still was like, oh, but like I don't know, like obviously I was trying to get my fix, but like I care about my cats a lot, man. There was another time also where like I had hung out with this guy, like I had a car and that was like my main value to people. And I met this guy one night because he wanted to like chase some guys down. I was like, sure, I'll drive. And I ended up driving him like 20 minutes downtown so he could buy bath salts or something, and like stayed up until 8 a.m. And then he offered me like $50 worth of drugs to use my apartment to hook up with someone. And I was like, fuck it. All right, sure. Like, I don't give a shit. So I let that happen, and that was weird.
Tell the story about when you were walking and then somebody was like,
yeah. Right,
he's trying to beat you up.
Right before I moved back to California, I was walking back from 7-Eleven towards my apartment, and some random guy I'd never met before biked by me and was like, yo, this girl is looking for you. She's sending guys to beat the shit out of you. And I did not know what that was about, or who he was talking about, or who he was. But yeah, I have never been in a fight in my life, and so people threatening violence against me was a good sign that things weren't quite right and I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Yeah.
That's crazy. And when was the time that you realized that you were missing up a lot in your life and you decide to stop?
Oh my God. So back in fall of 2020, I had moved back to Los Angeles, where I'm from college, and I was working on a TV pilot as a production assistant. I absolutely loved it. I was having a great time. I felt like I could like build a future in the film industry. My dad's a TV and film editor, so like I grew up in that. And then one weekend I got a text from like my boss, like one of the producers, saying that there was a COVID outbreak on the production and that they didn't know when or if we would go back like to making the pilot. And so decided to like kick back a little extra that night, and I bought what I thought was an oxy, like Roxycodone 30 pill from my dealer. It was actually fentanyl, didn't realize that at the time. And like that was probably in like October of 2020. In February of 2020, I had gone from initially swallowing half of one to snorting 8 to 10 of them a day. And I was having an emotional breakdown. I hit up one of my old therapists and I was like, hey man, like, can you help me get into treatment? Like, this is beyond my control. This is nothing like I'd ever experienced before. And so yeah, that was sort of like the first wake-up call. I lost a relationship around that point because I wasn't willing to trust her and be honest about what I was going through.